Thank you for volunteering. I'm Richard York.
I'm Naomi Borgenhagen.
This training session assumes that you have viewed the general training for both Plymouth and Sheboygan Falls together.
This training only applies to the Plymouth location. We want you to understand the flow of the evening and become familiar with our facilities.
Now, the vision for Night to Shine is that it is a prom event centered on God's love for people ages 14 through whatever who have special needs. And we believe that this is going to have a great impact on our guests, but we also believe that it's going to have an impact on our volunteers.
We'd like to go over the timeline a little bit with you. Volunteers will arrive anywhere between 3:30 and 5 p.m. You'll want to check with your team lead on what time and at which location you should arrive.
Now, the Plymouth Night to Shine is in 2 locations this year. At Christian Life, most of you are going to go first to Christian Life because you will need your vehicle at the end of the evening. And rather than coming in on off Highway 67 on our west entrance, we want you to go around the block. You'll go past the Plymouth Town Hall and Fire Department, past the City Park, and come in on Crumry Street, which is our west side entrance. There you will park as you're directed by the parking team, and we encourage you to leave as many personal items as you possibly can in the car. There's going to be a lot of people here. Now, if you are serving in both locations, you will from here be shuttled to Salem Church.
Salem Church is where the Night to Shine prom begins for our guests. And a few of you will go directly to Salem if that is the only place you will be serving. The Salem facility is where the event begins. This is where our kings and queens first come for the night. And a few of you will go directly to Salem if that's the only place you will be serving. When you come, park on the east side of the building, which is the Salem Green side, not the school side.
Now, depending on where you're serving, there are different places to check in at Salem. On the floor plan that we're showing you, you will enter Salem from the east side, and buddies follow the purple dotted line. You make the first right, go through the kitchen and into their fellowship hall, where you're going to be paired with your king or queen.
Other volunteers will also enter on the east side. You'll proceed straight ahead, go down the hall into the main foyer, where you'll find a check-in table at the south side of the entry doors.
Some are coming, we call here to cheer volunteers. And your role is to be in the crowning ceremony room, cheering on our kings and queens as they're crowned. You too will enter on the east side. Your check-in will be outside the sanctuary, and then you go into the crowning ceremony room, which is their church sanctuary.
Our kings and queens, our honored guests, are dropped off on the west side, and they check in the main foyer.
Now, buddies, when you are called from the staging area, you will go and connect in the main foyer with your king or queen, and you will proceed along the green dotted line to the appropriate prep room, where the girls will get their hair done and makeup and some jewelry and a corsage, and the guys will get a boutonniere and their shoes shined and help with their hair if they wish to have that done.
After you're done in the prep rooms, you'll go into a staging room where you will wait to be called to go forward. When you are called forward, you'll follow the light red dotted line to the crowning ceremony. In the crowning ceremony, your king and queen will be announced. People will clap and cheer, and then you'll proceed.
After the crowning, you follow the red carpet to the photo room. Now, you'll note just next to the photo room on the right-hand side is a sensory room. If the king or queen becomes uncomfortable, maybe a bit overstimulated, you can take them into the sensory room where there are people and there are some things that could help them to recompose themselves.
After they're finished with their photo, you'll proceed out the east side to the limo ride.
Now, for the volunteers who don't start at Salem, you are going to enter Christian Life Church through the carport on the north side, and someone will be at the Welcome Center straight ahead if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, you're going to turn to the left and go into the office, and you want to check in the office there.
For volunteers who are not a buddy, we have a coat room, a break room, and a snack area in the lower level. We'll show that on our tour as we get to the lower level.
Now, when the buddies and the guests arrive at Christian Life Church, the limo will drop them off in the carport, and you'll drop your coats off at the coat check to the left as you enter the building. And then you want to follow the red carpet into the prom room. The prom room is where the main celebrating is done. There's music and there's dancing, and just going to have a whole lot of fun.
We want to let you know that there are bathrooms in the lobby just outside of the prom room. You'll see them as you come out the doors and look to your left. In that same area, the lobby, we will have food and beverages for the kings and queens and the buddies to partake in during the prom. In the connector, which is between the lobby and the kids center, we will have games and other activities for you to partake in besides the dance and other things that's going on in the main area. As you go through the connector, you will see that there are bathrooms and restrooms next to the stairs. If the guests are overstimulated, you can take them into the sensory room to gain composure. It'll be a more quiet environment, a place that they can go where there'll be activities that are not as stimulating. There is also a family bathroom right off of the sensory room with a child height toilet.
One of the popular activities is the karaoke. And we're going to take you down the hallway to your right. And the karaoke room is their kids' sanctuary off to the right. They're also going to have some snacks there, I think some popcorn and a few things like that. But that's where your guest, your king and queen, yourself perhaps would be able to sing some songs, maybe do it together, just have a wonderful, wonderful time. Now, later in the evening, we're all going to gather back in the prom room for a short greeting by Tim Tebow and a wonderful balloon drop and a celebration. At the end of the night, the guests can pick up their picture, a gift bag, and their coats in the lobby outside of the offices.
We're going to go into the lower level now and show you some of the things that are down there. As you go down the stairs, the hallway there will have 2 bathrooms. These will primarily get used by volunteers and anybody who's come for respite, the caregivers. At the end of the hall, or the end of that part of the hall next to the bathroom, is where volunteers who are not buddies can put their coats into a side room, and which is the one there showing the butterfly. And then this main area here will have food and snacks for you to partake in. A little further down the hall is another room where we'll have tables and chairs for our volunteers to take a break. You can get your food and go down there to have a little bit more space. Across the hall is a room that is going to be used by our caregivers who have signed up for respite. Our caregivers will enter the building on the lower level.
We do have 2 areas in the lower level for family members. One of them being we call it the fellowship hall, but the prom is going to be streamed into the fellowship hall. And so from that vantage point, you'll be able to see what's going on and what your person you're caring for, your loved one is doing and how they're participating. And for those who are caregivers, they do have the option. They could enter in the building on the lower level of the west side, and we'll take you out and show you that area as well. That's where you would enter on the lower level.
So we want to remind you that this is a formal event, a prom event, and we'd ask that you would dress fancy in your very best and plan to have a lot of fun. We hope this helps you understand the flow of the evening, and please reach out to your team leader if you have any questions.